Under the cover of thousands of rockets, Hamas terrorists launched their bloodiest attack in decades. Over 1,200 people were killed on the October 7 attacks, dubbed Black Saturday in Israel. Stories of the brutality of the terror gradually reached the world. Innocents burned and beheaded, widespread sex crimes, families murdered in their homes, hundreds taken hostage. In retaliation, the Israeli military launched an unprecedented bombing campaign, followed by a ground invasion into the Gaza Strip. The IDF's mission is to destroy Hamas's leadership and military infrastructure and recover its hostages. At first, the West and much of the world rallied with Israel following the horror of the attacks. But some of that support has shifted to concern amid the humanitarian catastrophe enveloping the coastal enclave. The UN says that over 500,000 people are enduring a catastrophic hunger crisis. Over 21,000 Palestinians have been killed since the war erupted, according to the Hamas-run health ministry, with over 70% of them women and children. Hamas's figures do not distinguish between male civilians and terrorists. The violence has sparked protests and marches in Britain, with controversial pro-Palestine demonstrations and a major rally against anti-Semitism taking place on London streets. But amid the debate over the destruction, British politicians have continued to visit Israel to support and advise. Soon after the attacks, Rishi Sunak arrived to express solidarity. Foreign Secretary James Cleverly and Boris Johnson arrived soon after, with the former Prime Minister telling GB News that the West needed to be patient after October's horrors.
We've got to give Israel the time and the space to conduct the operation, to track down the people who did this, and to make sure they can never do it again.
Lord Cameron joined world leaders to warn Israel that its civilian casualties were too high. Some analysts have criticised the use of heavy munitions on targets in urban refugee camps. And despite a 7-day ceasefire with some hostages released, there is little hope of peace and security returning to Gaza soon. Israel's army chief said that the conflict will rage on for many months as his forces push into central Gaza. Soon, they will target the south, where almost over 1 million people have gathered after being displaced, desperately fleeing the violence. But that violence is now spilling across the region. The president of the Palestinian Authority has warned that the West Bank could explode at any time. Drone and missile attacks on international shipping by Iran-backed groups continue in the Red Sea. Rocket exchanges are escalating on the Lebanese border. US forces are coming under regular attack in Iraq and Syria. And European security agencies claim to have smothered a Hamas attack in Germany. With no end in sight, there are growing fears that the Israeli invasion of the small coastal strip could soon become a global catastrophe. Oil prices could rocket, inflationary concerns are growing, and security agencies are on high alert. Charlie Peters, GB News.